Good morning. It is me, Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tune and Tarot. And we're here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine sides of self, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with others, in our external environment. And if we want our situations to change, if we want our relationships to change, we have to shift and change the energy within ourselves. So you can glean information about people in your life, but they really are just reflecting your own energy back to you. And when you can find the ways that you intersect with the energy that you're less familiar with, for instance, if you identify strongly in your feminine energy and you're focused on someone who identifies in their masculine energy, not gender, but energy, then maybe the masculine side of self is less familiar. And when you listen to it, it just seems like, oh, that's how this other person feels. But when you can figure out how you feel similarly, how you fear taking action, how you fear commitment, how you, whatever it is that's coming up, and shift the energy inside of you, then the people who you attract into your life are going to reflect that new energy back to you. I am trying to do no coffee for a little while, just seeing how my body does without it. So I'm doing smoothie instead as my daily ritual. And I just made a badass chocolate cherry one with lettuce in it. You know, it's so weird. Good morning, Elizabeth. When you make a smoothie and you put it so I have like an immersion blender that I use. Also, why did I not always use an immersion blender? It is so much easier than a giant blender. I mean, especially for one person. But like I put the frozen cherries at the bottom, and then I put hemp seeds, and then I put like a lot, like a cup and a half of like salad greens. And I'm always mystified at how after I put coconut milk, cacao powder, maca root, and I had to do oat milk because the coconut milk I have is in the can and it was thick, like it was like cream. So I used the oat milk I had in the refrigerator. So how does that then taste like how does it not taste like a salad? I'm always like, I like brace myself. I'm like, oh, it's gonna taste like salad, and then I eat it. I'm like, no, it tastes like a chocolate covered cherry. Like how the fuck? I don't get it. But I swear by Julie, what's her name? Julie Morris. Is that her name? Dang it, I thought I had her book right here. There's a really good smoothie. It's called superfood smoothies, which superfood is bullshit. It's just a marketing thing. But the flavors of the smoothies she has are so good, and it's like all really nourishing stuff. Okay, would you like me to read now? This is what I'm gonna have to do to get through my day with no coffee. Surviving. Okay. So you come here for a reason. For the release and rebuild spread, often there's something that we know we need to let go of, and we want to rebuild after that process of letting go. Letting go was a huge theme yesterday in the members only reading that I did, the Tell Me Everything spread. It was really good. If you're interested in that, click the link below to become a member. It's only $3.33 a month. But it was the Four of Pentacles came out quite a lot. It was actually being the ending theme, I believe, for Divine Feminine. So like definitely a big thing today. Yes, I know. I see the sunshine, and also the Johnny Cash song "You Are My Sunshine" came out, and the sun is like also coming out a lot for me the last couple of days. All right, so you come here for a reason, and a lot of times it's because you're in no communication with someone, or you're kind of feeling stagnant or stuck in a situation. You want to move on. You you might have financial blocks. There's all kinds of reasons. So whatever brings you here today, I want you to just think about it. Like if you heard a certain message from me, you would feel better. What do you think that message would be that would make you feel better? That is what you think that you need. And this is what you actually need. We are getting the Princess of Wands. which from the Thoth Tarot, which I don't know that I've ever seen before, actually. And we are getting the Evolve card from the Creativity Oracle that says, creative ideas evolve out of the invisible and profound nothingness of pre-verbal consciousness. I like that. So how interesting to get a page energy, which the princess embodies, is just to be at the start, to be at the beginning. It's a fresh start, a spark, a little light going on, a light bulb, an idea. Okay, I'm just making sure she's tearing up something she's allowed to tear up. So definitely this is about starting fresh. And then we're getting this Evolve card, which is telling us that these creative ideas evolve out of the invisible and profound nothingness of pre-verbal consciousness. And I'm really tempted to reflect upon the invisible and profound nothingness of pre-verbal twin flame relationship, where you're just not communicating. Nothing is being said. There's nothing new happening. And it's a place where we're waiting. It's like this gestation. Now, twice already in 2 decks. And honestly, I think I saw out in a 3rd deck. So I think 3 out of my 4 decks right now have coughed up the Empress today. And the Empress is definitely a card of gestation. While she is in that period of gestation, there is literally something evolving from cellular form into a human within her. So really profound imagery also. I mean, I'm getting the journey of like reproduction almost coming from that. There's definitely something here about creating a new life, and that life evolving from something that was nothing. So if you've had no contact, this is like a new idea coming from this place of no contact. That's what you actually need. You need a fresh mindset, new ideas. Cool. Let's take a look now at Divine Feminine. We're going to start with her headspace. I'm using the Light Seers Tarot. And in her heart space, the Tarot of the Divine today. We're getting the Empress upright and the Hierophant in reverse. And this is the general energy that surrounds what needs to be released. So we just talked about the Empress and her process of gestating. Literally, she's creating the world within her womb. And she's taking care of herself. She's resting. She has a solid foundation, a solid throne, just like the Emperor, but her throne is of the earth. It's much more organic. There's abundance and prosperity that surrounds the Empress, and she's able to just command what she desires. And then in the heart space, we're getting the Hierophant in reverse. The Hierophant has a whole bunch of meanings. It's commonly associated generally with marriage, but that's because it's about vows and commitment and faith. Higher level consciousness, higher level learning. It can be about study and, being in college even. It is about traditions. And when it's in its reverse, there are a few things. It will make me think that there is a desire for a non-traditional method or means. The feeling of not having quite learned her lesson. And that's the thing that I'm feeling strongly today. I do feel that Divine Feminine is awaiting the fulfillment of this commitment, like this vow, this promise, this sacred union. But she's feeling like she hasn't learned something. She's like, if I had learned all I needed to learn, then wouldn't I be, finally seeing it in the take shape and take form. It's 8:22 on the clock. There's 4 people in the room, and I just saw 10:02. So she really is desiring the fulfillment of these lessons, the culmination of the journey that she's on, resulting in the ability to claim her diploma, right? To actually be able to have this higher level understanding so that she can come into some kind of a sacred union. Very generally speaking, I see her waiting for marriage, right? Just if we were just going to put one word on each card, waiting marriage, awaiting marriage would be what's here. And for me, that means there's something she hasn't learned because she's still waiting rather than going out and claiming union in the present moment. She's waiting still. Her hidden assistance, I made this position and I don't like it any more than you do. Her hidden assistance in the headspace is this 2 of Pentacles energy upright. And in the heart space is the 3 of Swords. So how much do we love seeing painful realization as our hidden assistance? What has helped the divine feminine, or what is helping her in the ability to release, is that the back and forth energy she's experienced of being juggled, not being prioritized, and a resistance to change is painful enough that she's not going to remain in this state any longer. This is also about not having enough faith, trusting. And that is really profound to me. I feel that this feminine energy is really this back and forth energy that caused so much heartbreak. This is what has taught her, right, how to unconditionally love. And needing to change and have faith, because not having faith is hurting her. What past experience do I need to release? So this is the thing that actually needs to be released. Okay. This came out transverse for me when it came out, so I'm going to read it that way. And we have here the Knight of Cups in the headspace, and then the Wheel of Fortune coming out transverse in the heart space. So Knight of Cups for me is, if this is something that needs to be released, this is something to do with receiving offers of love, receiving an expression of the feelings that the divine masculine has for her. And then this card that is of time. And if it was upright, we would be talking about destiny and good fortune and fate and, you know, the wheel turning. If it was in reverse, we could be talking about her resisting the time it's taking, you know, feeling like her luck has run out or it's never going to work, or not changing something about this aspect of herself. Okay. But transverse, and I think it was transverse this way, although it doesn't really matter. But transverse for me is that this is something that is in process. It's something that that you're like on the fence about. And in this case, it's, I believe, coming out with that Hierophant energy in reverse, which is the general feeling, the lack of trusting in her destiny and her fate to change her situation. So she has to release this fear that it's not yet time. When I listen right now, when I barely listen to any tarot readings right now because I just can't. It's like my job and I can't enjoy them right now. And not because it's my job, but because I'm tired of this experience. So when you're listening to the readings right now and the reader says, oh, it's time, but it's not time yet. I don't know about you, but I go into a murderous rage. Not time yet? I'm sorry. What the fuck are you talking about? I've been listening to twin flame readings since 2018. And it's not time yet? Is that how you feel? Because I am baffled by this message. Not time yet. I'm sorry. Why? Why? Why is it not time yet? Why is it not time yet? I want to listen to a single reading and hear it is not time yet, because that doesn't make sense. If right now and every time that I check, it is not time, that means it's never time. Not time yet means it's not happening. And then the reader goes into, as you're saying, you need to have patience. I'm sorry, why? Why do I need to have patience? And then the next thing you're saying, oh, it's divine timing. Okay. Again, am I not the creator of my divine timing? Am I not in charge of the timeline purely by my desires? For instance, if my desire originally was, I want to be with my divine masculine, and then I keep hearing, it's not time yet, it's not time yet, it's not time yet, you have to be patient, it's divine timing. Then my new desire is that it's fucking time. So my new desire, it doesn't even have anything to do with my masculine. So I guess it shouldn't be that I'm like attached to him then. Because I literally don't even care. I'm like, literally, I don't fucking care who it is. All I care is that it's time. So what I want now is that now is the time. That's what I want now. I don't want this fucking, it's soon. Fuck your soon. Fuck this. What lesson haven't I learned that would keep me sitting in a space where I'm willing to accept a person holding up a card and telling me it's not time yet? It is time. It's been time. I've always been worth it. I've always been worthy. I've always deserved this. There's no reason under the blue sky and on God's green earth that it wouldn't be time right now. So divine feminine has to release this, first of all, the frustration that you're seeing coming through my ego, which is why I let it come through, because I'm sure it's relatable. That frustration has to be released, but also this concept, the worth the wait thing. Oh, some things are worth waiting for. Bullshit. Some things you don't have to wait for. That's our new mantra. Some things you don't have to wait for. They happen now because I'm ready now. And the person who loves me is ready now. He's not ready later or not yet or next week. It's now. So if you tune into a reading and they're like, oh, it's not time, turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off and go think about something else, because you're the one who's keeping that theme in your mind. When you're watching these readings, and for these readings, I'm mostly referring to the ones that are just mainly about what is divine masculine thinking and what is he doing. Hopefully you're watching other readings that are about your spiritual journey, that are readings like this where you're trying to proactively shift or change the energy, and it's not just about finding out if he's going to fucking call you or not. If you'd like to ask a personal question, you can book a personal reading, but this is a free collective reading. It lasts about 2 hours. It answers almost any question you could possibly have about what's going on with you in terms of like your energy towards people that you love. And honestly, I've stopped doing these collective readings because like as often as I do, because I genuinely feel that they're as good as a personal reading to a certain extent. And that's why I haven't been booking personal ones. But I won't be able to give you these free readings anymore if people don't actually pay for them. So please go and click support. Please go and book personal readings. I don't know why people feel that everybody can do everything for free, but that is something that has happened to musicians and performers. So please go book a personal reading if you have a personal question. But I'm sure you'll get a lot of this answered today. So here we have this concept of not yet needs to go away. If the person that you are fixated on isn't here yet, I'm going to just give you a big hug. And then I'm going to say, that's not your person today. And I'm not going to ask you to wait for that person to be your person tomorrow. I'm going to ask you to focus on yourself right now and leave this concept of this person who might come when they fucking feel like it. Because fuck that. Fuck that. If they don't feel it now, don't wait. Waiting is what you're like, why do I have to wait? It's like, you don't. You just are. Okay, so what can I do right now to soothe myself? Oh my God, I can't make it up. The 7 of Cups and the Queen of Cups coming out in the head space. And the King of Cups, I shit you not, coming out in the heart space, and Strength in reverse. You are always chosen, Divine Feminine. Believing that your counterpart, right, your match, the King of Cups to the Queen of Cups, is always choosing you. Which means if your person isn't choosing you right now, they're not your match. They are not your match. They're not going to be your match later, because later doesn't exist. They weren't your match before because before doesn't exist. Right now, in this present moment, those that match you are in your life. They are texting you. They are messaging you. They are talking to you. You are seeing them give you a tarot reading. This is your match. And if the person isn't there, they aren't a match. And if you're waiting for them to be a match, that's what you're always doing. Your true counterpart always chooses you. They're not confused. They know. And the one that is meant for you is releasing any need for you, the feminine, to be the one that soothes their fears or anxieties. Your true soulmate doesn't need you to do their emotional processing. They do it for themselves. You also have a lot of options. The feeling that you've had when Divine Masculine has been taking his time deciding whether or not to choose you, fuck that. You have just as many options. And the feeling that only this person is going to satisfy you, fuck that too. That doesn't make any sense. If that person could satisfy you, they'd be doing it. What happens normally is we want this person from our past. And we keep trying to manifest the person from our past. But the person from our past wasn't a match. And they're certainly not going to be a match now because you've evolved. Remember the whole lesson that is coming up today? You need a new concept of self because you have evolved. I was just saying last night in a TikTok reading that when I look around at my apartment now, it seems very confining to me. But when I manifested this when I was homeless, it was a palace, you know? But this is not a palace for my current self. This has become very uncomfortable. It does not get repaired. I haven't had a kitchen light in 7 months. I haven't had a single drawer, working drawer in my kitchen in 3 years. This is a slum and is not taken care of. And when I was homeless, this was heaven. So when you were homeless, when you were destitute, when you felt there were no other choices, when you felt that there was no one who would love you, that's when you manifested this person who you can't have now. That's how you made the choice for who you wanted to be with. And it doesn't mean that person cannot evolve alongside of you, but you're waiting for something to happen that's unlikely because it's difficult for even you to believe it. If you could believe this stuff, if your Hierophant card was upright and you had complete trust and faith, if we got the High Priestess and this and the Four of Swords, it was all faith and trust, all upside down, inside out, this wouldn't be a problem. You could literally open your eyes and your divine masculine would appear before you because you would have the faith that Christ, God, whatever energy you want to believe in, can heal someone instantly. That when the Samaritan reaches out and touches the hem of his garment as he walks by, she becomes immediately healed. Every single thing that was within her that she carried as a wound becomes healed without her doing any work. If you had the faith of a mustard seed, you wouldn't need me. And hopefully this is what the spiritual journey will teach you, to have the faith of a mustard seed so you don't need me. But the thing that will soothe you, that will help you release this painful, not yet business, is understanding that, first of all, you're already chosen by this counterpart who doesn't rely on you to make him feel less afraid of you, doesn't need to. He has his own inner feminine, controls his own ego. That is who is a match to you. And that is who can show up right now. What can I expect to encounter as I make space for new energy? Wow. The Queen of Coins, or the Queen of Pentacles in reverse in the head space, and the Queen of Coins upright in the heart space. I love this. This is not thinking of yourself as being chosen. And this is feeling that you choose yourself. This is not thinking of yourself as prosperous, abundant, independent. And this is feeling that you are. So what you make space for is this back and forth energy that has honestly been your hidden assistance, even though it's caused you to have painful realizations about your worthiness. This is what is helping you learn to conceive of yourself as this Queen of Pentacles. It's also releasing any of the over-nurturing business that comes from this, because we think if we nurture others, then we have value. My mother over nurtures, and then when she doesn't receive validation for the over nurturing, feels undervalued, and she perpetuates that, when in reality my mother doesn't have to do anything for us to be valued or loved. Like, she doesn't have to do any of the things she does for us to love her. We just love our mother. But in her mind, she has to have this value or this worth. And that will really become shadowy when it's, pushed out onto me or my siblings. So getting control over this interplay, not being too over nurturing in order to feel you have value, just feeling that you have value. You're chosen. If you think, I had to think of my own situation because that's the only thing I can relate to. I can't fully relate to yours. No one can, just you. But in my situation, I'm just baffled. I'm just utterly bewildered at the messaging that I could receive from this person for years. And then the complete lack of movement. This is literally solved with a phone call. This is not a problem. It is not an issue. We need more time. We don't need to say not yet. Like, none of that. That's all unnecessary. So the only thing that is standing in my way from that actual experience happening is my faith in it. And I admittedly don't have it. So I know that this is applying to me. I know that this reading is applying to me for sure. What behaviors have gotten in my way? Oh, let's see. Oh, I'm going to quit my job. I'm quitting. The Four of Cups and the Two of Wands. I can't. Can I make it up? Nope. Fantasizing, longing for, and feeling destitute without the twin flame. The twin. And it's also fantasizing about all I have to do is wait for it and it will just come to me. But there's something missing there. Think of spider spirit. Spider spirit does have this belief. Spider spirit has this faith. If I wait for it, it will come to me. But spider spirit didn't just go, walk around on its 8 legs, creep around, and then stand there. It followed the inspiration it received from the divine to build an incredible web, to build something of its own, so that the flies, the big juicy flies and the bugs can fly into it. But if spider spirit doesn't do shit, if spider spirit just sits there dreaming about this, oh, my soulmate's coming, but not yet. You're not doing anything to achieve the soulmate. The other night, I was like, I have to go on a dating app, 8:44 on the clock. I have to. I didn't want to initially because I hate it. But I was like, I have to because I'm not meeting people organically in the situation that I'm in. Like, there's a lot of quarantine going on. There's a lot of financial limitation, and just getting out and seeing people and running into people and developing a relationship with people is not easy in this current situation. So I'm not building a web. I'm waiting there. I have fallen into waiting for this soulmate to come. Most likely just thinking like, oh, it must be the old one I was thinking of that I know it's not, because at this point, it just doesn't make any sense anymore. So just, not actually doing what you need to do to achieve the dreams you have, but just waiting and thinking, oh, I love this twin. Look at her. Does she seem happy? Are you happy? Waiting for this person? And the person that I focus on, like, implied in some of the songs that they posted that they were waiting. And I was like, what are you waiting for? I don't understand what you're possibly waiting for. Me to call you? What the fuck? Like, I can't even. And I'm just like, nope, that's just the feminine side of that person waiting for the masculine side to take action. Because it doesn't make any sense in the situation, in the whole story, and the trajectory that I have. If I told you every single thing that happened, and then I said, so do you think I should reach out? You would probably smack me upside the head for even asking that question. Yeah, no, you should not reach out. In fact, you should run and never look back, is what most people say. So that person will wait for an eternity, because it's not my job to go speak to that person. I didn't do anything to them. My door's been wide open this entire time. I've never shut my door. It's never been shut. It's never been shut. Their door has been shut. So living in this fantasy where this twin that is unlikely to do anything is unlikely to do anything. Now, I can change my concept of that twin. I can change how I think about that person. but it's really hard to do that. So it doesn't really make much sense to sit there and try. It seems like it's probably a better idea to go your own way and let the universe distract you with something else, so that whatever is supposed to happen behind the scenes happens behind the scenes, and you're not thinking about it, you're not involved in it, you're not waiting for it. What can I do now to avoid this? So what can I do now to avoid fantasizing about my twin coming back? Ooh, Four of Swords and the Page of Swords. Put it to bed. Put it to rest. This is the minor arcana version of some of the concepts of this Hierophant card. It's about faith and trust. It's also about grief. When I said that, the Queen of Wands dived onto the floor upside down. Yeah, Divine Feminine does not want to have to grieve anymore, and I don't blame her. I've done enough grieving for everybody. And it's like, when is it going to end? But it ends when you feel it. When you feel it, you heal it. So you got to let this die. And you have to be brave enough to do it. You have to be brave enough to just kill this dead. Just kill it. You don't have to be like, it's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. Da, 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 da. You don't have to be like that. All you have to do is say, I don't exist tomorrow, and I don't exist yesterday. And these are the two places where this twin exists, yesterday and tomorrow. But I exist right now, and right now that shit is dead. In this current moment, it's not here. And I need to see a new way, a new path. I have to have a new idea. I have to evolve something new from the silence. And if I can't conceive of this person doing something differently, because I truly can't. I'm exhausted by trying. I just keep seeing the same thing. I literally, I'm like, oh my God, you made another playlist. Made another playlist. And it's fucking hopeless. And it's the same shit. I'm sad. I fucked up. I'm waiting. And I'm like, nope, I can't see it. I can't see anything different. All I can see is all that happens is I'm opening up the tarot readings and it's going, not yet. Not yet. And then I open up my Spotify, which I don't pay for because fuck that. I don't fucking pay for Spotify. And I see, oh, you've made another playlist. And oh, there's another station I can't listen to because I don't fucking pay for Spotify. Why do you? I can't see anything else. So I have to admit, in this present moment, if I want to stop doing this, imagining it's going to be somehow different, somehow my twin is going to change, and being really unhappy, then I have to be like, you know what? He's not different. He's exactly how he always was yesterday. He's probably going to be like that tomorrow because his ass is old. And I'm just going to put it to bed. I'm going to put it to bed, and I'm going to be curious about my other options, because that's the real thing up here. We've been waiting for this masculine energy to make up their mind, and we're the one that should have been doing that. We should have been like, hey, do you want to be with me now? Oh, you don't? Okay, cool. Keep it pushing. Have a good, oh, no, I love you too, but I don't just love people and then not actually have relationships with them. But if you want to do that, that's chill. There's like 12,000 followers I have on TikTok that are willing to do that, but I'm just not doing that right now. Peace out, bro. You're the best. I honestly think you are super great. You know, you might be a little bit of an idiot, but that's okay. We're all an idiot about things in our lives, and I'll see you later. I'll see you later. I'm not losing anything. What was I losing? Wait, let me read about it. I was losing the invisible and profound nothingness of pre-verbal consciousness. Well, that's a lot of nothing. Bye. Be brave enough to face that grief. Have faith that when you make that choice, when you make the choice, because you still haven't done it, You still haven't done it. You're still waiting for that person to make the choice. But when you make the choice to choose yourself, that will result in people who choose you. Period. Holy shit. Holy shit. What is growing within me or this connection as I move on now? What is really interesting? I'll give you the first card. We've got the Five of Wands. This is a card about internal struggle. So this is kind of an interesting thing. It's like, why would I want this to grow within me as I move on? Well, because there is another wand dismantling the Four Wands, dismantling that twin flame saga. And in this case, you want it. Why? Because here's the Empress. That's motherfucking right. 4 decks, because I know the Prisma Vision deck had it too, because I saw it come out. 4 of my 4 tarot decks produce the Empress. And I believe she's upright for all 3 other decks. But your end result, if you can release this person that's not here yet, and I mean release them, never look at them again. Never look at their social media. Don't look at your old text messages. Don't look at old pictures. Just don't ever look at that old version of them ever again. Every time you go and look at their Instagram, you're going to see the old version. How do I know? Because of the Red Sea, the parting of the Red Sea. I thought that story for years was about idolatry, that it was the sin of idol worship, because when Moses goes up to the mountain, he tells them, to wait for him. He needs to go seek advice. And then they worship a golden calf. And then he comes down and he's like, are you fucking serious? Why are you already doing that? Okay. I always thought it was about idol worship, but it's not. That story is about forming new neural pathways in your brain. The Jews are prisoners, right? They're slaves on the one side of the Red Sea. They have to get to the other side of the Red Sea to be free of this prison, this slavery, where they have been forced to be stuck in this loop and do these things for others. Moses prays for a new pathway so that they can leave behind this slavery and go to freedom. God parts the sea, which is what? Water, emotions, and creates a pathway in the brain for them to go from the old way to the new way. When they get to the other side, Moses is like, okay, now we're here. We got to figure out what to do next. He gets the 10 commandments. He tells them the 10 commandments. It's 8:55 on the clock. And one of the commandments is, don't worship idols. He tells them all these things. And they're like, okay, totally, Moses. That sounds great. And then Moses is like, all right, let me go get a little bit more advice. I'm going to be gone. Listen, I'm only been gone 3 days, okay? Can you chill till then? And they're like, yeah, we can chill. We got these commandments. We just had a new pathway formed in our brain. It's great. And then Moses is like, okay, dope. I'm going to leave you guys. Goes up to the top of the mountain, talks to God, hears some shit he's like, are you serious? I was like, yeah. And then he goes back down the mountain, and lo and behold, what are the people doing? They're doing exactly the type of shit they did when they were slaves. And we focus when I learned this as a Christian, we focused on the fact that they prayed to a golden calf. But the golden calf is irrelevant. It's the idea that they didn't know what to do. They were like, we don't know what to do now, and there's no one to lead us. So we're going to go right back to our old pattern. We're going to see if that old way still works, because we don't know what to do now. We've never done it this way before. It's too new, and we haven't completely, fully embodied this energy. That's what that's about. And Moses comes back and he's like, do you have so little faith? So little faith? You didn't see the pathway open? You didn't see how when you thought differently, how when you chose yourself, that others started to choose you? You didn't see that? Instead of continuing to do that, you went right back to the twin. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay. How do you learn something? You practice it. You have to practice. You have to see that Red Sea parting every time. You have to practice that new pathway. Also, you know how they got through it? The women, the feminines in the group, as they were crossing the Red Sea, they were in the front of the line. All of the women and children, usually the women and children are in the back. The men go in front to protect them. But in this case, the feminine took the lead and she sang and chanted and danced. And that is how they got from the old way of thinking into the new way of thinking. And that is chant, affirmation, and stuff. So for all the Christians that tell me, I just got somebody I love on TikTok yesterday. Somebody was like, "You're a demon," and you know, like all this stuff, and what you're doing is an abomination. And I was like, "Oh, I love you." And then I pulled a card for them. And the best thing in the world was when I pulled the card, it was the freaking Page of Swords. I said, one of my spirit guides is Jesus, actually. And so and since you share Jesus as a spirit guide, I'm going to ask Jesus to give us a card. Jesus gave us the fucking Page of Swords with like somebody opening a book. And I was like, this is about you being more curious about a lot of the origins of the faith that you believe in. Like, you believe in a really powerful belief system, and there's a lot of secrets and things that you don't actually know about it that that you're being told, like, to go and research more about your belief. And I was like, I have this Gospel of Mary Magdalene here. I literally was going in. I was like, yes, give me the Christians, give them to me. Oh man, I love it. Anyway, all those stories in the Bible that we were told to use to make us feel ashamed of, idol worship. And it's really not about that at all. It's about how you form new ideas and how you create and manifest your reality, and how you leave behind the prison of your egos, fears, and anxieties, and embrace the path that you're led on by your intuition through your affirmations that insist upon a new way of being. So, all of that to say that when you finally do release this fantasy of this person and them not coming yet, you're going to be able to finally dismantle that twin flame story and stop waiting for that to happen. And then whoever is meant to come for you will be able to. But for as long as you keep kind of holding on to that, it's just never going to happen. It's just not. All right. That was a lot, Divine Feminine. You had 47 minutes, girl. Let's rebuild with the masculine side of self now. What do we want to rebuild? We're releasing this story of this person's not coming yet. And now we want to rebuild. I'm using the Labyrinth Tarot in the headspace. We've got the Sun card and the Prisma Visions Tarot in the heart space, which is showing us the 9 of Swords. It's in reverse. And in this case, there is a whole panoramic view that takes place in the minor arcana of the Prisma Visions Tarot. And all of the characters are fighting off against this winged, like fanged, beastly swan, and swans mate for life. So I definitely have this sense that we have somebody that's struggling with commitment, but this is released. Okay, there's no fear here. There's no fear about the ability to come into a committed relationship. There's no fear about the ability to remain in a committed relationship, and there is no blocking this mental prison, the slavery, mental slavery, blocking that new shore, the happiness, the joy that is available. And we're seeing new life here. This is, healed inner child energy, but it's definitely coming from this something new being born from the void, being born from the nothing, the prison of our consciousness. Our hidden assistants, the Empress and the Queen of Wands in reverse. And y'all got to see both these bitches today because I was going off over here. But this is all, I'm sure everybody is like, and that is exactly how I feel, because that is exactly how we all feel. It's like, why am I waiting? Why is it not yet? What the fuck is that? This feeling divine feminine has of being frustrated about why she's waiting. This is what is really going to help rebuild. How do we know? Because we know that when she releases the person that she's been waiting for, because she's pissed off about having to wait when she shouldn't have to wait for that person, then she invites this dismantling of the whole storyline that has kept her waiting. So the hidden assistance for rebuilding the connection or a connection is the fact that divine feminine is not going to sit around and wait anymore. The masculine has benefited from this for too long. Now it's hedged into a territory of, oh, I'm not benefiting from this person being willing to wait for me. Now I'm in a situation where I'm never going to be with this person because I've made them wait for so long, right? So what past experience challenges me in the rebuilding process? Queen of Pentacles in reverse. No, sorry, Queen of Swords in reverse or feathers. And the Nine of Wands in reverse. Divine feminine putting up a really hard boundary with the masculine, and being unwilling to remain isolated anymore. So divine feminine being like, you are dead to me and I'm going to go see other people. I'm not going to be sitting here in my victim mentality anymore, waiting for someone to choose me. No, if you don't fucking step up and choose me, I'm good. Like, keep it pushing. And the other thing that the other aspects that are just within himself, this is overthinking and resisting the healing and resisting releasing victim mentality himself. This is him feeling like he's at the mercy of, you know, some energy that's like difficult. Okay, whatever. That's like a self-concept that's not accurate. So that's what's been challenging him. What can I do right now to build my confidence? What the hell? Okay. We have here the Five of Wands, right? And that's fine, except it's the one that's coming out, I told you, with the Empress, right? And what is this? The Five of Wands and the Empress in reverse. And that is, as I said, the Empress, and the Empress. That is insanity to me. How the fuck does that actually happen? I wish I was good at math and I could tell you the crazy statistics on that shit. Because the fuck. So Divine Feminine's Empress and Five of Wands, we saw is her ability to dismantle this struggle. That this no longer is she going to be struggling against the idea of the twin flame, because the twin flame story itself keeps you in separation. It does. Why? Because the story is that we are in separation from a twin and that we have a lot of conflict with that person. That story makes sure that this person doesn't come into your life. The universe is like, oh, is the masculine counterpart coming in now? And the universe is like, no, not yet. Oh, no, not yet, not yet, not yet. They're stuck in not yet. That's where they're stuck, not yet. They keep talking about the twin flame journey. They keep focusing on the separation and the not yet, right? So Divine Feminine rejecting that story, rejecting it and being like, no, if you are in a not yet place, then it's not me, right? I am not your divine feminine if you're in the not yet place. If you're in the, I'm going to call you today and ask you how you're doing and find out when is the best time that I can take you out to eat. Now we're in the right place, you know, and I've got options. Someone's going to do that today. That person is going to be the person that is in the right place with me that day, the day that it's happening. And there's not going to be like, oh, this person sometime in the future. Nope. If it's not yet, it's not now. Because a person can be anywhere in the world and step up. We have the fucking internet. Okay? We hate the internet. We love the internet. It literally makes it possible. You can be like, oh, my person doesn't live here. Okay. Does your person have access to an electronic device? Oh, they do, because they're posting on their Instagram stories with their friends. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So they could do that. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So they can't come over, but they could definitely be like, hey, do you want to FaceTime? And you could be like, yeah, totally. You could be like, oh, well, but they can't do that because they're in another relationship. Yep, that's true. Why do you want somebody that's in another relationship? Oh, because that person is like my twin and we're like destined to be together. And you're like, right now, you're telling yourself a story that is literally ruining someone else's life. And you're like, well, they don't really love each other. Okay. Well, have you ever been cheated on before? Did you love the person who cheated on you? I guess you should not really want to be with this person right now, because right now that person is not available. And we don't live tomorrow or yesterday. We live right now. And right now you're holding on to somebody that cannot come forward. And the only reason you must be doing that is because you're making a choice. I got tough love the other night when everybody had too much to drink. And a passing comment really stuck with me when I said I'd been alone for 13 years. And they said, how much of that was your choice? So, how does this build the masculine side of self's confidence? We've got the Empress and the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands being about a struggle, being stuck, being blocked, something getting in the way. In this case, we have Two of Wands here on each side, which is associated with the twin flame journey. And then, of course, we've got the Four of Wands, which is the destabilization of a relationship. If the divine masculine's past experience that challenges him in the rebuilding process is that there has been some kind of a victimization of the feminine, and that's including within himself, that has shifted, and now there is just more challenging boundaries coming up. I think what will soothe you then is that this divine feminine, who you're perceiving as being very, confrontational or wanting to, or is conflicted or internally conflicted. It's like the waiting for this struggle to be over ends when you end the struggle. Once divine feminine is like, oh, I'm not going to wait for a person who doesn't want me right now. And the masculine is like, oh, I'm not going to make my divine feminine wait while I dig out this internal conflict. I'm going to face this conflict. I'm going to face my fears of competition or whatever it is. And I'm just going to go towards her. I'm going to choose her because she's the one. I'm not going to let this other energy destabilize this union that I seek. Do you see how you have to do this for the masculine to do this? And the thing is, if you leave here today and you're like, oh, I'm going to let go of my twin so my twin can choose me. You're not doing it. It's 9:11 on the clock. I love you, but it's not going to work. It's not. It's not. Even my own self, I'm saying it's not. Because you really do. You really and truly. How you doing? You holding up okay? You really and truly do need to release this story of this person and choose to be in a union. Like, you've got options and you need to pursue those options. And you cannot compare them constantly back to the twin. It's got to be something that is not focused on. You have to embrace that story is what's keeping you stuck. It is that story. What possible future challenges could arise? We have the Hermit, which keeps coming out for the masculine, and interestingly, the King of Wands. So I see conflicted ideas. So what can challenge is that there is this, like the thinking of wanting to have space, wanting to feel alone and autonomous. And then there's the heart space that's pulling and wanting you to go and take action and be social and be. So it's this like back and forth in the head space and heart space. It's also the fact that you've left this situation alone for so long that taking action feels intimidating. I'm feeling, and there's an intimidation here. It's like, I've been alone for so long. How do I now take this action to be coupled? Because even in some of the relationships I was in, I was alone, right? There's that feeling. So wanting to just go and run and hide rather than taking action. This is something that can challenge this masculine energy. What past behaviors have destabilized me? Ooh, 3 cards. Okay. We've got the Queen of Junk here in the headspace. And then we're getting the 3 of Cups in reverse, the Queen of Cups in reverse, and the Magician. Oh, really? What has gotten in your way? Well, there's 2 queens here. This queen is usually associated with the wife and mother. And in this story of Labyrinth, this lady is she's a distraction. So she's trying to distract Sarah from her journey. And then we see the Magician, and he's a puppeteer, and we've got this empathy, compassion, over mothering, over nurturing kind of an energy, and the 3 of Cups. So too many people, too many feminines involved, and the masculine trying to control the situation, trying to manipulate and move the pieces and parts around, manipulating the divine feminine's emotions, and then appeasing whoever this energy is. This it could be ex-wife, ex-long-term partner, the mother, his actual mother, and usually that's where this kind of an energy stems from. So basically, this masculine was likely manipulated as a child, and we're seeing him doing this manipulation. All right. Then we've got, what can I do now to avoid this and stabilize? We've got the Moon in the headspace and the Hermit again. This is going within, and that's the challenge. The challenge is that you will retreat into this Hermit energy, but you've got some subconscious beliefs that are holding you in this position, that are making it difficult for you to rebirth this connection. So you have to go within, and you have to find those hidden things that are still causing you to, choose the twin instead of choosing yourself, or however that's playing out for you. And it's this self-exploration that will help you to understand why you engaged in this kind of behavior that was so destabilizing for the union that you truly sought. Now, feminine, if you're trying to figure out how this applies to you, this is you manipulating the divine masculine with your emotions regarding his third-party energy. That's how that's working for you, how that's playing out for you. And then what future prospects do I have to look forward to once I rebuild and stabilize? We're getting the Magician again, which we just got over here. And in this case, it's Jareth from Labyrinth, the High Priestess in reverse, and the Eight of Swords. The Magician and the High Priestess are honestly like compatriots here. They're like counterparts of one another to a certain extent. The High Priestess in reverse for me can be about trust issues. It can be about not trusting, in particular, the divine feminine. And then the Eight of Swords here. So I feel like what future prospects you have is that the feminine who has been blocking or not trusting you because you've been in this magician energy with her in the past, that this will be released, that these trust issues, these fears that are keeping her from allowing you in, this inability to see you as healed, to see another version of yourself, that will be released. Okay, let us then now go to the oracles. We are going to help with releasing and rebuilding. The archetype that's going to help you with releasing this not yet business is the Advocate. So this is inspiring you to put compassion into action. You've been doing that too much. You've been too compassionate for someone who has manipulated you. You've been too compassionate for someone who has not had an intention of actually changing their behavior. This person, just like you, is hoping that you'll reach out so that they can do what? Reject it. There is not an intention for this person to accept your offer because this person knows they must give an offer. So every time when you're like, I don't understand, like I sent this loving message and they didn't say anything, it's because they cannot. You've offered and offered and offered and offered the cup so many times. You keep having compassion for someone who has little compassion for you. They do not. If they did, they wouldn't keep you on a hook like that. They wouldn't do it. That person has compassion only for themselves. When they have to let go, it hurts them, so they don't. And you're doing that too. You need to honestly commit to your own cause for personal gain right now. This is not usually advice you get from this archetype. This is a shadow attribute, but you need to actually embrace the shadow attribute because the light attribute is hurting you. Your compassion for this person. Listen, when I'm hearing this message that this person is waiting for me to call, don't you think that I want to try to get his number and call him? Of course I do. But why? There is no reason for me to call that person. And every reason for that person to call me and say, I'm sorry. I am so sorry for all the times that you reached out to me with compassion and I ignored you. For all of the times when you gave me a second chance and I let you down. For all the times that you that I promised you that I would be the one and that I would be there, and I didn't do it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I was waiting for you to call when I should have called you. Because in this particular case, I have not done anything to warrant any of the treatment that I have received. And I don't think that person has done anything to me personally either. But for me to keep taking it enables this person to keep being destructive. Instead, I need to dismantle this idea that because somebody is my soulmate, that I then deserve to be constantly abused. No one does. Saint Mother Teresa is here to help you. She is an activist. And this is to help you because you need to be an advocate for yourself, right? You're constantly advocating for that masculine energy. And you must advocate for yourself. You must be an activist for yourself. Any of my clients, any of the people that I work with, if they called me and told me my story and they got to the end of the story and said, what should I do? I would be like, that person does not really have your best interests at heart at this time. And as hard as it is to hear that, I think that you would be much better off if you sought another relationship with someone else. And if I were you, you seem ready to me. It seems like you know what you want. You know, you are working on your own passions. You enjoy your life with your family and your friends. And if I were you, I would go on a dating app, or I would go out and ask my friends if they knew anybody they wanted to introduce me to. I would put myself out there and I would seek my soulmate, because I think your soulmate is ready for you. And now that you aren't waiting for this person, I think they can finally show up for you. And if it is this person, then by the act of you deciding that you're ready now, that person will come. And when you make that decision, and I mean truly decide that, which means you can't wait for them, and you decide you won't, then if they don't come, you'll know you made the right choice, because you are ready right now for your relationship to start. That is what I would say. This is your release card. You and your loved ones are safe. And it is the new moon in Cancer energy. And the message is, there is a new start coming in your private life. Something is rising up in connection with the people and places you hold dearest. This can be to do with a member of your family, a flatmate, or moving house. If you're hoping to move forwards with something special in your private life, this card comes to you as a message that you can do it. If you've been neglecting your family, it's time to reconnect with them. If you've been neglecting yourself, you need to take better care of yourself and nurture yourself more. If your insecurity is holding you back, that's something for you to work on now. Doing so could bring you your heart's desire. Make sure you put your family first. Additional meanings for this card are: let someone get a bit closer to you. A new cycle is starting for your child or children. It's time to review your goals. Have they changed? Meditation will help you banish your insecurities. Spending time near water will bring you peace and answers. The new moon in Cancer can be a super emotional time. The moon is all about emotions, and Cancer is a water sign and also very emotional. Saying that, the moon is very happy in the sign of Cancer. It's one of her 2 home signs along with Taurus. So whenever you pull it, this card suggests that whatever happens next will be in your favor. It's especially positive for family matters. Literally everything we've been talking about. Your rebuilding card is the light worker card. Lemuria, creating heaven on earth. It is happening. So this is what will help you with your rebuilding. Lemuria, or Mu, is one of the Earth's lost lands where heaven really was a place on Earth, a time before we were kicked out of the Garden of Eden. In Lemuria, life worked in harmony. All beings were seen as equal, and we were deeply reverent to Mother Earth. We knew that a mosquito was no worse than us, and the sun no better. Perhaps you too believe that heaven really can be a place on Earth. Perhaps you are part of the transition team who, at soul level, are devoted to creating this kind of harmony on the planet now. Thank you for wanting to do this work. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the state of affairs on the planet right now, but you are being encouraged to keep holding the clear vision of the future. It's closer than you think. You may be guided to hold the frequency of Lemuria in your own community, family, workplace, or within yourself. Know that it is possible, and while at times it may feel like you are alone, you truly are not. There are hundreds of thousands who hold the codes of this ancient lost land, and even Lemuria crystals that hold the codes of remembering that are beginning to rise all over the planet. Keep doing what you are doing, and remember, the only way to heal the world around us is to first heal ourselves. Hold this card to your heart and say, I hold the codes of Lemuria and believe that heaven really can be a place on Earth. That's about your faith and trust that you must rebuild. Because you've been experiencing this hell, this twin flame journey for so long, you are afraid that this heaven cannot exist on Earth, but that is what you have really been creating. Hi, Christina. So, Divine Feminine, not surprised for you. Your theme for this week is the Princess of Discs, which is Page of Pentacles energy, and the Nurture card, which came out actually for the Tell Me Everything spread for the Feminine yesterday. And we are also getting that princess energy, that Page of Wands. So we've got this new thing happening for the feminine. New energy, new outlook, new vision. And this is small steps, taking small steps, small gestures towards that new thing. For self-care, try loving and nurturing yourself as you would a child or pet. So I'm just trying to get the... I love my puppy, but she's being loud today. The Nurture card is a reminder to treat your creative process with the gentleness, kindness, and forgiveness with which you would treat a beloved child or pet. Giving birth, feeding, and protecting are the most important roles of the nurturer. Let your creative spirit live. Feed it the challenges that interest, inspire, and excite you. Protect it from those who threaten it, especially its most fearsome enemy, you. You and your free will, used not to explore your originality, but to say no to a life that is not what is expected of you, are actually the greatest potential threat to your living life imaginatively. Be its greatest protector and supporter. In choosing to be a nurturer, we align ourselves with the unending creativity of nature itself. So again, as I emphasized yesterday when this card came out, you and your free will, used not to explore your originality, but to say no to a life that is not what is expected of you, are actually the greatest potential threat to your living life imaginatively. That, to me, and yesterday's theme had a lot to do with letting go. It was literally saying that your free will that you're using not to explore any other options or any other lives, any other permutations of your own life, because it is not what was expected. That's your greatest threat. So embrace that, Divine Feminine, and start to take those small steps towards a new experience, which does not include waiting for someone old as the hills. All right, Divine Masculine, your archetype that is going to help you is the networker, enhancing unity through the sharing of information, engendering social awareness and empathy. Get writing. This looks like messages, sending messages, communication, enhancing the unity between the two of you through the sharing of information that you've been holding on to. Your guardian that's here to support you in the rebuilding process is Mother Mary, the nurturer, literally the divine feminine energy being called into this nurturing energy. This is what is also going to support you. We saw the Empress so many times today. The mother, the Empress, the divine feminine in her utmost nurturing energy, absolutely growing a new life within herself. Communication is key, divine masculine. This is your release card. So you have to release this fear of communication is key. This is the new moon in Gemini. A successful relationship usually comes down to one thing, communication. And the new moon in Gemini card is all about the start of a new cycle for communicating with the person at the center of your question. Talking things through is the answer to whatever it is you're asking about. If you can't talk to that person, you can journal about it to yourself. Emails, text messages, and all other forms of communication will also help you now. If the issue you're asking about concerns a sibling or neighbor, there's a new start coming, a time to wipe the slate clean and start over. This card could also suggest you've been too frivolous lately and need to get grounded again. But most importantly, drawing this card emphasizes the need to communicate. Write a list of all the people you love most and see if you're prioritizing them. Additional meanings for this card: time to tell someone how you feel. Don't be all in your head and not in your heart. Someone is flirting with you, and read more books. Gemini is the sign of communication and socializing, of ideas and travel. And the energy around it and around this card, no matter when you pull it, is speedy, gossip, and flirtatious. The new moon in Gemini is a wonderful time to get out and socialize. Gemini loves a chat. One thing to be aware of is that this card can also indicate being mentally scattered. Daily meditations will help to unscramble crossed wires in your brain. You got the networker card and communication. And Divine Feminine is putting down the story today. This is her last day of ever entertaining this story. For those that are releasing today, there are some that aren't ready to, and that's okay. But for those of us that are like, yeah, I'm good on this story, and I do not care if I ever see it, hear it, talk about it again, which will make my job complex, but however, I'm committed to it. So if you as a feminine are putting this down today and walking away, and the masculine is believing himself to be this twin, that the divine feminine is now going to be like, oh yeah, this stuff, yeah, that's no, bye, I'm releasing that. Then you best make the communication today, because this is divine feminine's last day. Here is your rebuilding card. You are already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north, divine masculine. Wow, damn. Definitely resonating with that. You are already doing it card. Do not question things so much. You are on the right track. You are facing the right way. Stop overthinking it. It's happening, and you are closer than you think. You are exactly where you need to be, and things are moving at the perfect speed. Do not rush it. Now is not the time to be impatient. Now is the time to walk steady. There is no rush. What you are building is being built. What you have planted soon will blossom. With every new day, a new brick is being laid. You have come a long way. The foundations are steady. Now all that is needed is for you to trust and keep walking forward. If a thought that things should be moving faster enters your head, that is just your ego comparing your rising to someone else. Comparison is not your friend. Stay in your lane. Water your own garden, knowing that your time to bloom will come soon. You are already doing it. Keep going. So you're already rebuilding. You're already working on not being afraid of experiencing happiness, not being afraid to let your inner child's full enlightenment start to have an effect in your experiences in the world. You're already doing that. So don't overthink too much about it. And your theme, holy shit. It's death, and it's coming up with change. And it says, for a change, do something you usually do a certain way in a different way. God, if I could hire a plane to like have this message, like to skywrite this message over my fucking divine masculine's house, I would do it. Do something you usually do a certain way in a different way for a change, divine masculine. Because I don't know if you figured this out, but it's not fucking working what you're doing. So stop doing it. And here I'm screaming at myself. The change card is an indication that it would benefit you to make a significant change regarding the situation in question, or at least to try a new way of doing what you do. If you are a visual artist, this would mean using different methods, different tools, or your less dominant hand. This card can also be an invitation to examine how you feel about change or to make an attitude adjustment. It is easy for an artist to fall in love with a creation and resist making changes to it. The editing process for a writer is the perfect example. If you hate the changes your editor is making, they are most likely doing their job well. Selecting the change card can sometimes indicate that the situation in question would benefit greatly from you changing your mind. You need to transform the way that you think about the situation. Period. Point blank. All right, let's look at the cards for the both of you. This is the part of the reading where I kindly ask you, if you would like to book a personal reading, to click the link below. If you'd like to become a member so you can see the 2 additional readings that are available to members each week, please also click the link below. It is only $3.33 to join. I also have a spiritual nourishment self-directed course that is available if you want to start getting really good at tuning into your intuition through healing your relationship with how you feed and nourish yourself. It's a beautiful course that's available there as well. And you can hear all of my music. I'm a formidable musician, of course. I am Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers. I sing, record, write, produce, and I teach that as well. So if you have any interest in working with me in terms of production or in terms of spiritual counseling, get in touch with me. Do not be intimidated by the prices on my site. If you need an accommodation, just ask, and I will definitely meet you where you are at. Thank you so much for being here today. I will see you again tomorrow because I am going to do a members only reading. I'm going to do something fun. I think I'm going to do a financial reading tomorrow, and I'm going to design a spread for that. So I'm going to do that for everybody that is a member. And then on Sunday, Grace Draga and I will be doing our reading on TikTok and then Instagram Live, where we do answer personal questions. We will be starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. Normally we start at 4 p.m. We're going to start 2 hours later, 6 p.m., 3 p.m. Pacific Coast Time. So join us on Sunday for that. And now let us close this beautiful reading. It was a beautiful reading, honestly, with the archetype that you are both in that is serving you right now. We've got the storyteller. And I like that somebody said, that's a brilliant interpretation of those stories. And I'm getting the storyteller card right now. Ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. You are both in the light of this, and this will help you, honestly, because you can express your experiences in terms of the story, which has transformation in it. It's not just like, this is the shitty stuff that happened. It's like, these are the things that created who I am now. And this is what made us who we are. And that's a really powerful way of being able to experience reality. When you are in control of the story, you understand that you're the one who controls the emotions you experience by how you tell the story. Your guardian angel is here in this retreat energy. And this is, to me, this is about taking a vacation, relaxing. I just did that. It was really, really powerful. So Continue to give yourself this sense of retreat throughout the day, retreating from stress, anxiety, from trying to let go of or hold on to someone, like whatever it is that you really are exhausting yourself in regards to. Retreat from that energy and retreat from any sort of fear or anxiety that keeps you from being able to hold on to that vision that you have. Don't let any of the negative stories you're tempted to tell cause you to stay stuck there. You're being supported in this energy as well. Here is your release card. Your hard work is paying off, and this is the new moon in Capricorn. I think we had all new moons here, and the page energy starting out the whole thing. New, new, new. Very, very important messaging. First and foremost, this card suggests a new start for you professionally. Whatever has been going on in your working life, this card heralds the start of a new and improved work cycle. If you're unhappy in your current job, this is the time to either renegotiate your position or look for something new. Whatever your question, whether work-related or otherwise, a new plan and strategy is called for. You need to take a look at the long term and think about where you want to be in 12 months or even 5 years' time. That will inform your best course of action now, so think seriously about it. Drawing this card suggests it's a time for you to be ambitious about whatever it is that you want to achieve. Make a proper plan and execute it well. You need to be more disciplined to reach your goal. Hard work will make your dreams a reality. A very good omen for study or teaching. Don't be too controlling and avoid anyone who is controlling. Capricorn is the sign of ambition, building, and hard work. The energy is solid and rigid. The new moon in Capricorn is a powerful lunation that comes towards the end of each year and marks arguably the best moment annually to make a list of your hopes, dreams, ambitions, and intentions for the year ahead. Pulling this card at any time suggests that with planning and discipline, you can achieve whatever you set your mind to. So definitely I'm getting the new start thing. Obviously the cycle that you're in. I mean, it's like I love my work right now, but it is not paying me anything. Like I made $44 last week, and the week before I made another $44, and the week before that $33. And before Christmas, this was completely, it was definitely paying at least my rent and a little bit of my food. So I'm frustrated right now because what I've been doing and what I've been building is suddenly now not paying anything. And so for me, it's like, I feel like I'm working really hard and banging my head and not seeing any return. And so I need sort of a new start professionally, because I can't continue to donate all of my time and energy for endless hours for no return. That's like kind of like waiting for somebody who's not coming, sort of an idea. So I definitely need to make a plan. I need to figure out exactly how I want to be able to still do tarot and readings while also being able to support myself. And quite honestly, I won't be able to do it at this level. I just won't, because I won't. I will have to give my time and energy to other things, and it will not be able to be like this. It will be more like a lot of other readers where it's only like 15-minute readings a couple of times a week, and that's all you get. And that might be what's supposed to happen for me right now. But basically, I just need to look at the planning and discipline I need to achieve a situation where I can support myself, because I've run out of ideas for this one. So that can be also in terms of your relationship. Like the masculine like has tried all these things, but it's fruitless. Like none of these things that the masculine has tried is working. Like I just described my masculine doing the same things over and over, and me being like, what part of you would think that this would, like, I just keep trying to imagine what he's thinking. Is he like thinking like, okay, when I make this playlist, even though I've heard her say over and 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 over for 2 years that these are really unsatisfying, don't directly communicate and fail to convey what I truly want to convey, They are confusing, sometimes misleading, and don't actually result in any direct communication or interaction. Why would you do it again? For the same reason that for the last 2 full months, I've been receiving no income from this job, and yet I do it every day. Why? I am doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Definition of insanity. Okay. So we need to release that. We need to actually make a plan to do something different. We need to change what we've been doing. And then we got the retreat card, and it's coming out with this card that says take a break. Life's a work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. Now, how do you like that? Remember, what we need to release is this energy. We need to release this concept that our hard work is not paying off, okay? We need to release behaviors that keep us seeing the same results again and again. But rather than work harder, because I shouldn't work harder, I should work smarter, right? I should definitely work smarter. I started a couple weeks ago. I was like, oh, I'm giving away all of my readings for free. That's not smarter. I need to have one reading on YouTube. And if you want to see other readings, you can support me for a small amount. I have a lot of followers. Everybody spends $3. I'm able to pay my rent, right? Okay, that's smarter, not harder. Now I'm doing less work and I'm getting more value from it, hopefully. And if that doesn't work, then I have to do that, make that decision again. But releasing this feeling that my hard work isn't paying off, taking a break, because there's a lot of overthinking going on that we're seeing in general coming out in this reading. My dog took a shit and it's just been smelling for the last fucking hour. And I'm just like, are you trained or are you not trained? Are you trained or are you not trained? Like, I don't know what's going on again. But I've heard a lot of dog owners say that like 7 months to like 12 months, their dogs will suddenly just like the things you train them on, they'll just be like, oh, can't do that anymore. So I think that's what we're going through, and it's really fucking frustrating. All right, take a break. This is the worst. 82. I do not understand why they organized the cards these cards this way. They're very hard to find in the book. Bowie, come. I don't know what you're doing in there, but come here. Bowie, come. Thank you. Good girl. It's okay to take a break and enjoy your creations, to take a moment from your busy schedule, to get off the treadmill of life, to appreciate and acknowledge all that you have created, achieved, released, or experienced before rushing on to the next thing, to be in the moment and enjoy where you are, to take a breath and regather your mind, body, and spirit, to recalibrate, appreciate, and celebrate, to decide on what you really want to experience next. If you take a moment, you're not going to miss out. Perhaps you've just completed a big project, manifested something significant in your life, released an old way of being, or just been burning the candle at both ends. Now is the time to take some time out before rushing on to the next thing. You did it. Enjoy yourself and recalibrate. Go on vacation, book a massage, take long walks in nature, go away for a rejuvenating weekend to recharge and replenish. Take a break and a breath. So when you release this person, you're probably going to have a feeling of rushing into another relationship because because you're not going to want to process the grief. But remember that grief is an important component of being able to start new. So go ahead and take the space you need to truly grieve that the person that you have been focused on for so long is not here. And they're not coming. And by that, I mean that version of that person, you're never going to see that again. You're not who you were, and they are not who they were. And so that person isn't ever coming back. And you do have to grieve that, because that is sad and that is hard. And if you then replace that grief of, I'm never going to see the person as I imagined, it's never going to be like that, you can have an urge to be like, but the new version of this person is coming. And I want you to resist that too, because you're still in that mindset, fixated on a golden calf. And as long as you're fixated on a golden calf, you're going to be wandering in the desert for 40 years. Because that's what happens when you fixate on your old beliefs. You get stuck in a loop thinking. You constantly have to be, every morning when the manna falls from heaven, you constantly have to reaffirm the faith that you have in the divine. You have to go back and reaffirm this faith. Your final theme for this whole week, for the both of you, wow. It's the Princess of Cups, which is the page again, and sacred space. Use beautiful art, music, and creativity of all kinds to put you into a sacred space. The Princess of Cups is new love, new romance, new expressions of love, and it can be emotionally underdeveloped. It can be something that is in the process of evolving. And we literally got the Page of Wands, the Page of Swords, the Page of Pentacles, and the Page of Cups today. So there is this call to be like new. A lot of times, you'll hear readers and they'll be like, oh, there's a lot of pages. I don't like this. This is immature energy. That's not at all what I feel today. The pages in this represent the new, fresh start that you all need. The masculine's concept of self is distorted to the point where he doesn't take action. The feminine's concept of the masculine self is distorted to the point where she doesn't believe he will, and vice versa. So you must be like new. And this is also about getting excited the way that you do when you're a teen, about somebody that you're head over heels for, and allowing that new energy, that delightful energy, to consume you. And then using the beautiful art, music, and creativity of all kinds. So inspire yourself into these feelings of new love and a new start by the media that you're consuming, by the activities that you're engaging in. Make your space around you sacred. Prepare your space within and without to receive this new love today, not tomorrow, just today, right now, today. So whatever you need to do to prepare your space, it can be, it's 9:55 on the clock. It can be like a religious type of or a ritualistic type of an action. Just like when you're sweeping, I'm sweeping out the old and I'm calling in the new. When you're doing dishes, I'm cleansing away the old, I'm bringing in the new. Take out your garbage, take out your recycling. I'm bringing out the old, I'm welcoming in the new. Go through your closet, go through a box that you've not been going through. Don't even go through it. Take it out of the closet and throw it away. Just start to show your higher self, the source, spirit, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, that you're ready now, that your space now is sacred, that your body now is sacred. It's not sacred after you come into sacred union. It's sacred now. It's not healthy after you have a reason to get healthy. It's healthy now. And the person who loves you doesn't tell you they love you later. They tell you now, today, right now. I hope that helps everybody. I know it helped me. I'm going to go clean up this dog poo now. It smells so bad. And I'm out of incense. I'm out of very many things. Please take pity on me and click support. Even a few dollars helps. I mean, a few dollars pays for food, and I need that. So please share that with me if you can. And if you can't share financially, I completely understand. I'm in that position myself right now. Then share energetically my content with others who you know will benefit from it. I do appreciate that so much. Subscribe, like, click notifications, and make sure you are following me everywhere on TikTok and Instagram and all the things. Thank you again. I will see you tomorrow. I just saw 1:44:55 on the clock. I will see you tomorrow morning. If you are a member for a pretty good, juicy money and career spread, I'm going to design myself. So let us get, it's going to be like the tell me everything version of money. That's my goal. Okay. All right. I will talk to you all very soon. Have the best day. Take care, everybody.